gasoline-powered car and substituting an electric-operated car or truck. By the way, not a rational response, because it's terribly wasteful to have that vehicle, which those of you who haven't noticed, sits on the street or in the garage most of its life. That's kind of, let's use a fundamental word, stupid. It's stupid. It's a waste of resources. That car could serve 20 people each day if it were managed properly. What do I mean managed properly? Well, like a car rental business, that's how they would manage that. Or those bicycles we can now just take off the rack, put back on. That's a rational way. If you want to avoid killing people, which private cars do, if you want to avoid air pollution, cars are the major cause of it, and on and on. Rational would be to go from the private car to a mass transit efficient system. A beautiful train every 5 minutes, a beautiful bus, even more beautiful every 3 minutes, everywhere. That's it. Infinitely cheaper, much more efficient. And none of you have to worry about it, because wherever it's parked in the central lots, which we call car rental centers, there would be paid mechanics who make sure they're in proper condition. So the car would be in better shape, better cared for. The whole thing is nuts. And who is the person who invented this crazy bad solution to the fuel-burning car? That genius who did this terrible thing? Elon Musk. That's what he did. He found a way that automobile companies could make a profit by taking us out of gas cars into electric cars. So 15 years ago, all the car companies said, hooray, here's how we hold on to our profits by making these private cars for everybody. And they all went to work to compete, and there was a winner. As of 3 years ago, one company figured out how to make the best quality electric cars and trucks at the lowest price, which is what competition is supposed to result. And I'm sure you all know the name of this company. It's the BYD Corporation. Let me do that again. B as in boy, Y as in yellow, D as in dog. BYD. Now, your faces give you away. You never heard of this place or this thing. What is it? Well, what did I just tell you? They won the competition for the entire new wave of cars and trucks moving across this planet every day by the million. And you never heard of them. Why? Because they move everywhere except here. If you go to Europe right now, you'll see them all over the roads. BYD, and by the way, there's several Chinese car companies. They're not the only one. They're just the ones who did it best. Why don't you see them? Because we have a tariff started by Mr. Trump, raised by Mr. Biden. The tariff on the Chinese electric vehicles is 100%. So let me explain quickly what that means. The Chinese produce this wonderful thing, electric vehicle, and let's take a simple number. $30,000 is what they cost for the car. You're in America. You need, therefore, to come up with $30,000 if, for example, you're a company that uses electric trucks to do part of your business. It's an input. You'd have to come up with $30,000 to get the truck. And then you'd have to pay 100%. Another $30,000 will go into Uncle Sam, who put the tariff. Tariff is just a word for a tax. It's a word for a tax on an imported good or service, something that produced out of the country but brought in here for sale. That's what an import is. And tariff is the name of the tax you put on imports. We have been putting taxes on imports as a nation from the beginning. Although throughout the history, there's nothing new about it. But it's 100%, which means an American would have to buy that truck by giving China 30 grand for the truck and Uncle Sam another 30 grand. And so with 60 grand, you get the truck. But of course, no one does that. Why? Because Ford and General Motors and Tesla will sell you an electric car or truck for a mere 40 grand or 50 grand or something like that. So who's helped by this? Ford and General Motors. They wouldn't be able to sell their crappy cars otherwise. None of us buy a $40,000 or $50,000 electric car if we're going to do that, and give BYD $30,000 for a better car rather than $40,000 or $50,000 to General Motors, however patriotic we might feel. And you know who knows it? Ford and General Motors. So they went to the president and they said, put that tariff there. It'll protect us. Of course, it didn't say our profits, which is the truth. It'll protect jobs. Whenever you hear a capitalist tell you about what they're doing to protect jobs, hold on to your wallet. Someone's reaching. Why is it false? Because this is a terrible.
Well, the frick done. And sometimes when I'm trying to make flashy edits like this, I also
from producers. Think of yourself as a maker of shirts or of chairs or of software programs. You would like to buy the trucks you need to bring in your inputs, to sell and distribute your outputs. You're going to have to buy electric trucks. You'd like to buy the best one at the lowest price. Of course, you're competing with enterprises in France and in Germany and in Brazil and in Nigeria and fill in the blank. They're all buying BYD cars at 30 grand. You have to pay 40 or 50 to.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me explain what's going on. And this gentleman is telling the truth. BYD is an electric company car. They got started, Chinese, all these people, they seen the future. You want the truth? They produce a better car, a smoother driving car. It's like a regular car with a motor, with an engine, but it's electric and it's way cheaper than what we have in America. Now, why ain't we seeing it in America? Because of the tariffs. All right. Because America failed to act. This is what Mr. President Trump, our President Trump, is saying to the world. Because America made bad choices, we are behind in technology. And now, with the tariffs that were in place, we have no choice but to buy American cars, right? And we all know anything produced in America, Ford, General Motors, whatever, high dollar, right? It's going to, anything America's going to be high dollar. And there ain't no electric car out there that cheap in America. So what did they do? The companies, it's all a scam. The companies went and said, put the tariffs on them or we're going to lose everything. There ain't nobody buying our cars now. We can't afford a $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 car. And that's what it was, folks. We're trying to tell you, we're here trying to help America, and we're losing the battle. Whenever companies get involved, big money, whatever, we're screwed. We're screwed. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. And not only that, if you haven't been taking an eye on real estate, within a week, I've been looking. I want to move. They don't want me to move. They want me to stay right where I'm at. And the proof is the real estate has skyrocketed. Skyrocketed. What are we heading for? A crash. This is a pattern. This is how they've been scamming us. Let's take a look at the real estate. Let's take a look at the real estate. I ain't joking. I'm talking, these are pre-manufactured homes. $230-something thousand. This is a 2-bedroom trailer, right? 85 grand. Let's just get back to the real meat and potatoes. Here you go. No, I'm going to show these people. That fast, it has skyrocketed. There ain't nothing around here. This home right here in LaGrange, it's $178,000. It wasn't that a couple months ago. And that property don't even have a well on it. You got to dig your own well, which is probably another 50 grand to dig a well and have a septic system put in it. It don't even have a septic system. And it went from 78,000 because there was no septic, there was no water. You know, it now all of a sudden it's up to 178,000. Look at these homes, folks. I don't know if you can see this or not. There ain't nothing around here cheap no more. This was all planned. There ain't none. These are all 500,000. Are they worth that money? No. These are old homes built in the 70s, 60s, 50s. Right? Here's an old farmhouse. Been here it's built in the 1900s. You know, $370,000. How small the land is. This is ridiculous. Why can't we do this? Why can't, but this is why you let businesses and you let banks create your homeless and run wild. There ain't nothing around here. This is a 2-bedroom house off the lake. Small little property, probably not even a half an acre, not even, you know, $265,000. There ain't nothing cheap no more. Everything is skyrocketed. Everything. This house was a lot cheaper a month ago, 2 months ago. Now it's up to $210,000. There ain't nothing cheap no more. Nothing. Gas hasn't gone down. Let me tell you what they're doing. I've been through this. They're treating Trump like a broad. They're telling Trump, oh, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. And in reality, gas is up to 2-3 something up out here. It hasn't dropped. Everything's gone up. They did drop the price, $1. Well, we're already scamming them out of $4, so give them $1 back. Yeah. So we're done with it, folks. And your country is heading for another crash in real estate. And there ain't no one to blame but your madness that you've been letting happen in these companies. We're a company, we're a business, you can't do it. And that's why your country is in the shape it's in, because they only want money. They can give a crap if you're in the street and got nowhere to live. There ain't nothing cheap out here. Houses built in the 1900s, they want $200,000 for. You got to go in and gut it because it's still got wiring in it from the 1900s. If you plug something in, it'll melt the whole house down. Not including you got to re-drywall it. You got to do it. You're into that house over $500,000 after doing everything, right? $250,000 house from the 1900s after you're done remodeling or just bringing it up to code. You're in too deep. It ain't worth it. Yeah, this is the problem we got in America. We're being choked out by our own country with illusions and magical men. And are we hitting that point to where the real estate's going to blow? Yes, it's not going to be too much longer. And it's going to crash. There ain't no one buying shit because it ain't worth it. The world's ending anyways. Nobody's going to dump any money into the world ending. So it's pretty much over. The only thing is your country's been hijacked. Bottom line. They got America by the gonads. Why? Well, they uphold the law. They're the ones that make the laws. Yeah, and everybody talking all this stuff, and we were scammed. Are there better vehicles? You know, I like Elon Musk, and I like his ideals. But I've heard a lot of people say the car drives. It's got no suspension. It's got these cars that these other countries built are like a car, right? Full suspension in them, you name it. It's got, and it's high quality and they're cheap. Why? Because they invested in it first when America said, blah, 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 as Miss Debbie Fox says, blah, blah, blah. And that's what happened, folks. And now, bottom line, America's got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. Let me see what my chat's saying. Not there, though. Prices are low. Car payments here always been high. Oh, yeah, 500-600. Buy a new truck. Are you kidding me? I ain't got $800 to put a month on a car. And that's all you'll have is that car. So whatever you get a big enough car so you can live in it, because that's what you're going to be doing, because that's all you're going to be able to afford. You know how many younger people I've come across where they bought these hot rods, $60,000, $70,000 car, and that's it. They live in a car. That's all they got. They got nothing else. That's it. I got this car. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, sure, it's beautiful, but what else you got? Nothing. Where do you live? In the car. Now most of them are bringing them back to the car dealers going, I don't want it. I want out of it. I don't want the payment. I can't even drive down the block without having to refill the tank. And that's what 1,000 horsepower will get you. That's what 500 horsepower will get you. About a trip around the block. And that's it. One pass down the racetrack. That's it. And I got a carburetor sitting on the shelves that'll get 100 to 120 miles a gallon. Do you think they'll use that? No, because they want to sucker you all. Yeah, in the 1930s, a guy made a carburetor that got 100 miles to a gallon, to 1 gallon. You ain't never going to see that carburetor. Why? Well, because if people getting 100 miles to a gallon, are you crazy? You know what they won't need gas up. No, they won't. Well, that 20-gallon tank will get them going for a long time when you're getting 100 miles a gallon. Oh, Debbie, you're right. For 200,000. Here, you get acreage. Yeah. Well, you ain't even getting the acreage with some of these houses. Like I said, some of these houses look good on the outside somewhat, but once you get inside, well, it's got to be totally gutted. You got to gut the whole thing. They don't even have drywall in it. It's got shiplapping in it where they just threw drywall plaster over it, which was great back then, back in the 1900s, 1800s. There's a lot of houses out here from the 1820s. And they want outrageous money. The house is dilapidated, but that's how they get you. It's the land. If it ain't the house ain't worth crap. You're going to have to tear it down. It's just crap. It's the land now that's become that's why you're paying the 200,000 is because of the land, not because of the dilapidated house. Hell, these people are being denied loans, right? Yeah, deliberately. Why? Well, because they want it to crash. Why? Because they know their payday is coming from the United States citizens and the government. Well, we can't let these banks go down. There's no way we can let this happen. We cannot let these banks fold. They know that. That's why they're going to crash this shit out of it. Because they know that the government and the American citizen people will be right there to open up their bank books and keep that company going. And that's why. And the only reason why. It's the same thing with any other business. We're going to fold unless the government helps us. Well, let me tell you something, government. These businesses will continue to fold or blow up with their prices or whatever, hoping it crashes because they know they'll get their money back. Somehow, some way, the American citizen will pay their money. People will flip out of the bank's crashing. It's going down. Everything. Pandemonium. Let it crash. Let them pay the bill. It's because they made poor choices and they set inflation rates and they set prices of houses and everything. Let it go. Let it crash. And I got government knocking. We can't do that. Yes, we can. And that's what we're going to do. They made the bad choices, not the American citizens. You businessmen made the wrong choices, not the American citizen. And we will let it crash, just like any other thing out there now. Because all you want is to spend more money and buy more homes so you can travel around and be rich. And the American people suffer and pay your bills. Most of you are corrupt anyway, stealing money within the banks. Your own bank people. And now all their plans are to choke America out, to have control. Electric cars and even cars general. Why do you think China and these people that sell these cheap cars are selling like crazy? They're dependable cars and they're cheap and they get good gas mileage. That's why. That's why the government failed to see. They wanted to produce things and everyone's going to buy it because it's America. No. Why would I pay $50,000, $60,000 for a car when I can get a brand new one for $20,000 and serve its purpose? No, it won't do 800 miles an hour. It's not 800 horsepower, but it serves the purpose of a poor man. I wish I had that kind of money to buy a 500 horsepower car, but I don't. And even if I did, I don't know if I would buy one. I'm really not sure. Why? Well, insurance on it is skyrocketed. Anything with a V8, you're going to pay tons of money on insurance. It's just a racket. I mean, it's just a racket. It's just too much. It's too much. And when you live in a country where majority of the people are poor, they placed all their money on this shit that the United States was all of our people are gonna be rich, and it ain't happening. And now look at this stuff. I mean, 600, 800,000. This house is right in my town. This house is right in my town, a little house right here, right off the street. It's a real small yard, 179 with continuance with it. That means there's certain things you got to do to get the loan or you got to pay certain stuff to get the loan, to get the house first. It's just unbelievable. This house is right down the street. Right? Yeah, it's just all skyrocketing. Well, they're doing it, so we can. And then when you got these kind of people around you and within business, well, they just up the price. That home's there, 250, 300,000. Is it worth it? No, but they did it over there, so why don't we? There ain't no way out of this, folks. I'm trying to tell you. There's no way out of this madness when you let money run your country and businesses run your country. There's no way out of it. They would have to make drastic changes. They would have to go into the bank and say, "You've been screwing us and the American people. We're going to shut your asses down." But you can't. We're going to fold. Then you fold. And you come out and you tell your people that you made bad decisions and choices with their money. And you go find your CEO and you get him off that effing beach out of that $50 million home and drag his ass back to the United States, where he'll sit in front of the people and be charged with crimes against the American people. Debbie, everyone's making bad decisions. When you let businesses and banks control your economy, it's over. It's over, sweetie. And a crash is coming. They're already talking about it. Why? Because for America, there's only a certain percentage that are rich. Most of them raped, pillaged, and stole to be rich. And if they have anything to say about it, they'll continue to do it. And that's what they do. Now, there's the proof. Is it in the pudding? I don't know. Is it in the Kool-Aid? Who knows? I know this much. This is what happened last time. We got comfortable. They thought interest was going to go down. They thought all this stuff. They raised the prices on it. What happened? The real estate, stock, everything. Real estate went up. What do we? The banks are closing. The mortgage companies, we got to bail them out. The cars. Remember when Ford and GM and all them were coming out for a handout? People just ain't buying cars no more. No, we don't need 50 cars living in an apartment. I mean, if we had parking, maybe, but they don't use common sense. They don't use common sense. Who the heck is going to have 8 cars living in a 1-bedroom apartment? Common sense, and they ain't got none. The day they let business run the show and they fold it and knelt down to the almighty business corporations and banks and everything was the day America lost. That was the day America lost. I am going to take a year to fix what that last nut job did. Everybody has a hand in it, Debbie. But you're right. Get back there and do what you got to do. But there ain't not anytime soon. Not anytime soon. Inflation is not going down. Prices are not going down. It just ain't happening. Not anytime soon. It would have to be something. They should have never stopped the supplement checks for us poor people. Or period for the family, the working man that's got, it's horrible. There is nothing. It's almost like hell. Repetition. It just goes around and around. We could fix one thing and someone will come in and wreck it. Oh, no. That's not the way it's going to be. And then they do it. And we're right back to square one. Right? It's like these people telling Trump, "Oh, yes, sir, we're going to drop the prices." And as soon as you turn your back, you're looking, the prices, they're dropping. That's good. And then as soon as you turn your back, that price is right back up to $3.20 to $3.50 a gallon. right? When it's supposed to be what you were saying, down to $1.98 or 99 or whatever a gallon. It's just stabbing you in the back, stabbing you in the back. And they will drop the price $1 if they're charging $6, $5 for a dozen of eggs. We can't take all this money. Let's make it look good. Drop the eggs $1. Give them that $1 back, and we'll keep the other 3. Yeah, scam everything. An illusion. Everything's going great when really it's sinking. It brings me back to the Titanic, where the musicians were like, well, boys, she's going down. And we might as well play until she sinks. And they did. They did. They knew the Titanic was going down. And them boys sat right there and played them violin. Me, 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 me. Me, me. Oh, my God. I'm not going to me, me, me. Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. Get in the lifeboats. There are no lifeboats. Oh, my God. Me, me. Somebody quick, turn the music on to take their minds off the, we're sinking. No, I know you don't control it all, right? I know that. There's players behind the scene, Debbie, and all of everything. Congress, Senate, they all have a hand in it and everything. It's free enterprise. But when free enterprise and business realize, well, there ain't nothing you can do, because if we fold everything, if mysteriously we wake up tomorrow and everything is gone, right? Everything's gone, and all the mortgages are gone or whatever. They know that they're going to call the government, and we're going to either have to close the bank or you're going to have to bail us out. And 9 out of 10 times, the government's going to bail them out, and they know that. The American people will bail them out. We can't let this happen. Someone get me my checkbook. God, we're not going to let this happen. And they'll be back in a couple years. Same thing. It's horrible. We lost everything. We're going to close it. Oh, my God, again? Wasn't that just like 4 or 5 years ago? Yeah, but it's worse now. We're going to need more money. Now, I don't know. To me, everything is a scam. Everything in this world. My whole world is a scam. Everything. To me. But I might be wrong. I don't know. But there you go, folks. Debbie, you should feel good, because this was not about tarot card reading. So you should be clapping your hands right now going, good boy, Gavin, good boy. But you're not. She's pissed at Biden. I'm going back to work. I'm going to redo the numbers from everything that idiot did that was in there before. And then you're going to have to do the numbers of the idiot that was in before him. And then you're going to have to go back and do the numbers and fix things from the idiot before him and before him and before him, which we're going to be broke by the time you're done. But you're right. You're right. Now, you folks have a great day. And because I have opinions does not mean I'm against my country or communist. I'm a patriot. My people are sinking. My country's sinking. And all I could do is sit here and tell you folks, we're sinking. I know it looks like everything's good, but in reality, our health is dropping. Everything's gone right, skyrocketed up. You ain't even getting real medication from real places. They're shipping it in from other countries. Who knows what, Mexico or whatever. It's sinking, but they're going to play that tune until it's sunk all the way. They're gonna bring the band on and hurry up, quick, play something, play some Ozzy or something. Get these people, play some Metallica or something. Gang, 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 gang. Oh my God, I feel better already. Gang, 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 gang. Your whole world is sinking. Gang, 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 gang. But pay attention to me. Gang, 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 gang. And that's pretty much what it is. The Wizard of Oz. We've pulled open the curtain. Pulled it open. There was Sam Kinison going, "Run, Johnny." I ran. That's what I closed the curtains. My God, that's like love. I don't want none of it. close the curtains, and that's what I did. He is in charge if your state. He is in charge of your state. You need to write to your governor. What am I going to write to the governor for? How you doing, Mr. Governor? My name's John Kramer. You might not know me, but your state has sucked the life completely out of me and owes me 2 gonads. I got a problem. I lost everything. These people are swindlers, scammers, and all kinds of stuff. What are you going to do about it? And I already know what that letter will be that I get back. Mr. Kramer, we appreciate you voting for us, but there's nothing we can do. I've heard that numerous times, right? Numerous times. You go to the district attorney, I need help. These people are scamming me out of my house. I have a disability. I don't know anything about this stuff. I'm trying to hold on. I'm going to refuse payment to them until they get this. Here's my mortgages. Pick which one it is. Either it's a fixed mortgage or it's a balloon mortgage. This is the paperwork I got. You figure it out. Help. And I know exactly what they're going to say because they told me that before. Mr. Kramer, we're really sorry. We can't help you, but we do want your vote this year. We're going to see what we could do, but I'm pretty sure there's nothing we can do. But please vote for me this year. Yeah. You folks have a great day. God bless you all. It's just horrible. It's horrible. I don't even want to think about it no more. The truth is out. That is the truth. That is the truth. If I had a choice between a $20,000, $30,000 electric car or a $50,000 or $60,000 electric car, which one am I going to buy? Which one am I going to buy? It's the same thing with a motor car. Am I going to buy a brand new truck for $8,000 because it's from China or Japan or whatever? Or am I going to spend 50 grand or 60 grand on an American truck? Which, yes, I love the way the American truck looks, the horsepower and all that. But the $8,000 truck will do the same thing and probably better gas mileage. And might even last longer. But who knows? Who knows? Right? Now, I love America. And I love the powerhouse cars it puts out. And trucks. But I'm a citizen. I'm dumb, but I ain't that dumb. I'm not going to get into something that I can't pay for or I'll be paying for. And that's it. I won't have no money for nothing. Zero, zilch. So which one is it, right? It's like a house. Well, you're going to buy this $60,000, $70,000 house, and have a $400 mortgage? Or, Mr. Kramer, do you want this house, which is $300,000 and $1,500 a month in mortgage? Well, you got no money left. And then you need house insurance and you got no money. Don't get into stuff you can't afford. And what can the American people afford right now? Not much. They've caused so much madness. No one's spending money. The government knows that. I'd be putting out to us poor people on disability and SSI or poor people or people with families and stuff. A stimulus check. Because there ain't nobody spending money, Jack. There ain't nobody going to spend money like that. They'd rather go buy their guns, ammo, and all kinds of stuff. Prepare for something that someone will create. Do we want a war? No, but someone will go out there and create it because they don't like what's going on. It don't make sense, Debbie. Debbie says they're putting power stations for electric charging cars, but people just ain't. They're putting them all over the place with no electric cars. Tell me how that makes sense, and what resource, what and waste of resource. Yeah, well, here's the thing, Debbie. They knew that these other countries were producing better products cheaper. And we rely on them. Why? Because the government realized American businesses were, you have to pay your workers, which we are one of the highest paid working countries in America. And in order to pay your workers good money so they can survive on one job, you got to raise the price of your product. And that's how this happened. It was a little bit of the working man that said, we had enough. We're not doing this job no more for this kind of money. You people are making billions. We want this much. And the car companies folded and said, okay, but who paid in the long run? The American consumer paid, because they had to raise the prices to get that worker. And I'm all for paying the working man or woman a wage where they can raise a family on one job. They don't want that. They want you working 7, 8 jobs. That's what they want. They don't want you to be able to live comfortably on one job. You ain't going to be a quadrillionaire, but you're going to live comfortable. Your family will live comfortably. And you have one job. That's how it should have been. But they don't. So we're going to end this video. I want to thank Miss Debbie for coming in and telling her solar farms, it's a waste. No, it's not a waste. Solar farms are not a waste at all. Solar works. You got even Elon on there saying all we would need is 1,000 acres and we could power the whole country. It's storing the power. That's the problem. Solar works. The problem is storing the power, which I think old Uncle Nikolai gave us the answer to that. Capacitors. Giant ones that'll store thousands and thousands of energy. That's right. You heard it first on this channel. Right? Batteries. We need lithium locklide localos. No, we don't. What we need is a capacitor that'll hold power. And we'll drain power off of that. Solar works. They know that. And when you got the smartest man supposedly on the internet and TV saying, "Oh no, solar will work. It's storing it. We need batteries to store it. We need some way to store it." Well, that comes Uncle Nikolai with the giant capacitors and stuff that he had that hold charges. They hold power. It's like an energy. It's like a battery. It stores the power. That's when you work on a TV. They tell you to depower, to unplug it, and take a screwdriver or something and depower it, because there's power stored up in them capacitors and everything. Them big giant capacitors, there's power inside of there. And you go touch something, it'll shock the crap out of you. All right, you folks have a great day. God bless. I'm just trying to help my fellow man, country, and God. And God, do they need it all? That's what I always ask them. My God, how can you not live on 50 million? How can you not live on 3 million? Right? I don't know what it is. Greed, glutton. But you get a couple million, next thing you know, you got 7 homes and 20 cars. And then here comes the bill to pay for it all. If you didn't, well, you pay for it all, you ain't got no money. You spent it all in that. Now you need an income. You gotta have money coming in because you just spent $3 million in houses because you got greedy, and it's like a demon came into them, and boof, there went that $3 million within 5 years. Gone. Now they're selling houses. I gotta sell my house. What do you mean? You just hit the lottery. You won $5 million. I know, but I bought 20 houses and 30 cars, and I got 7 wives now and everything. Yeah. From rags to riches from rags. That's what it is. There's nothing wrong with buying a nice little place, right? You got a couple $1 million. You buy a nice little place, nice big piece of property with a little place on it for $500,000 or whatever. And that's it. That's it. Maybe a solar panel, emergency generator thing, bomb shelter, another 50,000 or whatever. And that's it. You're done. You're done. That's it. That's all you need. But everybody's different. Everybody, I need big, 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 big. Well, go big, but when you can't afford to pay for your staff to clean your house no more and you live in a 50-room mansion, it's going to get pretty dirty pretty fast. And when you start getting older and everything, and the money runs out and everything, you can't pay it. Now you got to clean that house. Then you got to pay for the power in it, which is about $2,000. $2,500 electric bill. Yeah. Good luck with that. Why, Johnny? Why, Johnny? Why? Because they thought they were gods. Oh, I'm going to have Jesus has a giant kingdom and beautiful gold walls and everything. Well, I'm going to do it down here on earth. Halfway through it, they're broke. What happened? I ran out of money. Is your house done? No. It's going to be a kingdom one day once I get more money. Yeah, good luck on that one. You folks have a great day. God bless. I'm an idiot. Don't pay any attention to me. I'm nobody. It is God Almighty who is king and always will be in this house. Have a great day, folks. And Debbie, you're right. The world's gone crazy. Sweetie, you go back and you go through all these numbers. And you get them numbers, girl. And I support you. Go get them. You get these idiots. She will too. She's like a little Tasmanian devil, little 4'5" or 5'4" Tasmanian devil. She'll get them. Get that money, girl. You folks have a great day.